Please note, the following story contains very graphic and disturbing content. Viewer discretion is advised. Chapter 8. Exit Strategy. We gotta get out of here. The question is how, Rico expressed. Every entrance is locked down. We checked, Burnside explained. Once in lockdown, there's no way out, the doctor informed them all. The dispute grew louder inside the small leisure room. The force argued amongst themselves when Richards woke up. I can't feel my... Oh, crap. He realized his arm was severed, and he remembered. He looked down at the stump where his arm was. All right, what plans do we have for escape? The crippled officer asked. There is one way out, Mendez offered. No, there are no ways out, the doctor exclaimed. In case there's a breach, the entire facility locks down. We can't get out of here. So you're telling me, Burnside inferred, that you designed this facility with fail-safes to keep these psychos from getting out, so the facility would lock down on breach. Yet, a paramilitary group was able to get inside before the facility got locked down, the patients had escaped before the facility locked down, and then, somehow, the whole place got locked down when they got outside. Really, we just got locked in with half of these things, while the other half got locked out with the rest of the... Some subjects got out? The doctor cut him off. Outside? No, that wasn't supposed to... Regardless, whatever contingencies you guys had in place for this building failed. We have to find a way out of here. What was the plan exactly? To just lock them in? If nobody else can get inside, how is this place supposed to be secured? Rico interrupted, and then asked. We were supposed to starve them. They're compromised after 90 days with the brains intact. Then, we opened the place. How? Burnside asked frantically. Crap, the doctor stuttered. Keep talking, jackass, Rico told him. The place has a failsafe. Exactly 100 days and 15 hours later, the place is open for recovery crews to gather samples. Otherwise, the place goes up in smoke, the doctor explained. You blow this place up? How? Richards asked. There's a kill switch that detonates explosives throughout the facility. The place is leveled. Even underground, it forms a crater and destroys everything underneath. The generators, tunnels, labs, everything. Labs? Burnside asked. Laboratories, where we performed research, the doctor answered. You mean, Mendez retorted, illegal human experimentation? We discovered the secret to neural immortality. Yeah, and look where that got you. A facility full of insane, cannibalistic monsters straight out of a freaking zombie movie. You're going to get tried after this, Mendez informed the man. If we get out of this, the doctor added. We will, because of Fireteam 5, Mendez told the team. What are you talking about? Fireteam 5 is dead downstairs. They were one of the first groups we lost contact with. They're probably slowly being infected. If we wait any longer, they're going to wake up, Burnside argued. No, because Fireteam 5 made a breach in the basement parking lot. Any security the building had wouldn't cover a makeshift breach made with charges, would it? Mendez rhetorically asked. The doctor began to sweat, panicked. So it's settled, Richards ended. We go to the parking lot, probably through the basement, right? We'll get out through the bottom floor, and I'm sure the doctor will help with that. The doctor reached into his pocket. I'm not so sure about that, officer. Burnside grabbed his sidearm, but man was he fast. The doctor pulled a scalpel and moved towards the door. Rico was in his way, slinging forward his SIG 556, but it was too late. The doctor slashed straight across the SWAT sergeant's throat. The doctor opened the door, and Burnside jumped from his chair and ran after the man, drawing his handgun and firing. Rico's throat opened and sprayed blood out onto the officers as he collapsed to the floor. Richards drew up and knelt over Rico. Oh my God, man, Richards grunted. Rico's entire throat was exposed. His eyes twitched, then glazed over. Richards turned to Mendez, still recovering from the shock of the entire incident that just flashed. Go after that piece of filth and kill him. I can't leave you like this. Mendez was cut off. You're not letting Burnside run off alone. Now go, Richards growled. Mendez was about to exit the room when Richards tossed Rico's SIG at the officer. Take that. Switch to single shot, he told the cop. Mendez nodded and ran after Burnside. Burnside was running after the doctor, who was turning corners left and right, attempting to head up the stairs. Why? Burnside screamed towards him. Burnside watched the man climb up a stairwell and fired 3 shots, one of which hit the kneecap of the doctor. He heard the man scream, but the doctor kept going. Burnside kept running after, as Mendez turned the corner Burnside had just left. "Burnside?" he called out. Burnside hadn't heard, already climbing the stairwell. Mendez stopped, checking all his sides, without noticing the patients who scattered past him. Chapter 9. Snafu. "McInnes!" Hiddleston called from the bottom of the elevator shaft. There was no response. It had happened very quickly. It was loud all at once, then Hiddleston hit the bottom, and it was quiet. He waited. The wires had been cut, and he couldn't jump high enough to reach the elevator doors above. Instead, he shot open the vent for the elevator car and hopped down inside. He hated to admit it, but he had given up. McInnes bought him time, and there was no reason to. "Oh my God!" McInnes screamed, falling down the shaft and through the vent. "What the—" Hiddleston spoke, pressed against the car. "Not now! Aim up!" McInnes screamed. Several patients began falling into the shaft, crawling into the vent. Hiddleston began firing his last rounds, and McInnes lifted his Mossberg like a club, ready to swing at any who managed to survive. A single infected subject fell into the car, and McInnes swung downward, the stock of his gun collapsing the skull of the infected, the brain squishing with the hit. Hiddleston kept firing rounds into every head that peeked inside, until McInnes began prying the doors of the car open. Hiddleston emptied his mag and reloaded his final clip into his MP5. "I'm out!" "Almost done," McInnes called. The doors just opened far enough for him to get his fingers inside. When he opened the door, he was tackled by 2 infected. They pushed him against the wall, and Hiddleston grabbed one by the neck, pulled him downward, put him into a headlock, and snapped his neck. McInnes, grabbed by one infected, gripped his knife and slammed it into the side of the infected's head. The subject fell over onto the floor. "Let's go," McInnes tells Hiddleston. Hiddleston was never going to believe his lieutenant was dead, ever again. The man simply always beat the odds. "How many rounds do you have left?" the squad leader asked Hiddleston. "I fired 4 in the new mag, 26 left," Hiddleston answered. "I have 1 shell left," McInnes informed the sergeant. So we're screwed, Hiddleston thought to himself. The 2 moved down across the hall. They made it to the 2nd floor, where the laboratory they found the doctor in was. They attempted to open the doors, but they were blocked. The shattered windows were piled with objects and obstructions. The team had probably barricaded themselves in. Hiddleston found the back entrance, and they moved inside the laboratory. There was a struggle, apparently, and DeLiessel's body was missing. Only a puddle of blood remained where his body was. "Did they carry his body away?" Hiddleston asked. "Not unless he was embalmed. No blood trailing out. He couldn't have been dragged through either. There are no openings in the windows," McInnes answered. There was a commotion outside. Hiddleston nodded out of the room, and McInnes moved back out through the exit. He peeked out the door and saw the doctor run past. He drew his shotgun out and stopped the doctor. "Don't move," he called. The doctor turned around. "You're alive," he told them. "Where's Burnside? The rest of the team?" Hiddleston asked. "Rico's dead. So is every other fire team." The doctor began stepping towards them, scalpel behind his back. "Rico? What about Richards? What about Burnside?" the sergeant continued. "They're both alive," the doctor trailed. "But Richards is badly injured." Hiddleston noticed the injury on the doctor's leg. The doctor was less than 5 feet away from them, right within distance, when Burnside called, "Get away from them!" The doctor swung the scalpel towards McInnes, who grabbed the arm and twisted it, swinging the doctor over his shoulder and slamming his fist into the elbow, shattering the bone. The doctor screamed, dropped the scalpel, and Burnside fired a shot into the doctor's shoulder. "That guy," Burnside exclaimed, "killed Rico." "You did what, Doc?" McInnes asked, twisting the broken arm. "Screw you," the doctor growled. Burnside turned and noticed DeLiessel and several other infected walking towards them. "Boss!" he screamed. McInnes dropped the doctor down and backed up, gun raised. Instead, the infected circled around the doctor, kneeling over him while he screamed. "We need him," Hiddleston called. McInnes simply watched. "No, Hiddleston," Burnside answered. "We don't. Officer Mendez told us how to get out of here. Fire Team 5's breach and clear entrance." McInnes turned his back on the doctor, Burnside and Hiddleston simply watching as the patients clawed into the doctor's stomach and began grabbing his flesh. The man was still conscious, screaming, begging McInnes to shoot him. McInnes turned around and raised his shotgun towards the man. Burnside and Hiddleston stepped away. "We need to get back down there. We thought you guys were dead," Burnside tells him. Hiddleston is still frightened by the interaction going on. "They're watching a man getting eaten. We can't just—" "We can, and we are," Burnside tells him. McInnes aimed his shotgun down and slung it back over his shoulder. "Please!" the doctor screamed. What's up, everybody? This is the Lone Wolf here. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to Act Number 5 of Hostage Situation. If you haven't listened to any of the previous acts, there will be links to all 4 videos in the description below. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe, especially if you're new to my channel. Turn on the bell for notifications and join the Lone Wolf Pack. If anybody wishes to reach out to me regarding personal stories, recommendations, advice about the channel, or just to say hello, feel free to leave a comment on any of my videos or send me a DM on any of my social media platforms. There will be links to my email, Twitter, Discord server, Instagram, and TikTok in the description. For anybody interested in the music, all of the tracks used in this video will be listed in the description below, along with links to the artists that created them. Until next time, stay spooky. And remember, the hunt begins when the moon is full. See you soon.